Hi everyone, I'm McDices, and this is Detention. I have not revisited this game in a while, and there's a bunch of time save that has been updated. This kind of covers the original any percent route, but I'll be doing the true ending because, you know, it kind of covers both, and I'll explain the differences. Now, the reason why this game started saving so much time is, one, there's a new skip that was found that's not needed to get world record, but I'll explain it just in case, and there's a guide on Speedrun.com for that. But more importantly, if you just want to save a bunch of time in detention, language differences and new routing was found, so I figured this would be good to make. It's a pretty simple game, pretty easy to run, so it's quite nice. And I do hope that you enjoy these series. I've gotten a lot of compliments lately on Speedruns Explained, so I'm glad that you've all been enjoying them, both to people on YouTube and to Twitch chat. Hello, Twitch chat. You're currently here. Okay, so first things first, you may notice that you can't read the menu. This is Korean. The fastest way to run detention is Korean. There's going to be a weird quirk with my game, which is going to be, missing the language. But if you go under Steam for the game detention, you right-click on it, go to Properties, there'll be a language option, and you can select Korean. It was originally thought that other languages would be faster, like Chinese, but for some reason, the way Korean functions, it's just the fastest. We're not entirely sure why. I want to say it maybe because Chinese is vertical, while Korean is horizontal. There's something with it, but either way, Korean is going to be much faster. So, if you want to get a good time, make sure you run on Korean. However, one of the downsides is if you don't speak Korean, you might be wondering, what do I click? You'll be clicking the second option here. Time will start once you click this circle, so 3, 2, 1, let's go! So the cool part about Detention is it's a very simple point-and-click game. There's actually not a whole lot you need to worry about. This is going to be one of the games that's highly defined entirely by its routing. Also, you're going to be seeing a lot of dots and commas. You're not going to be knowing any of the dialogue because I don't have the Korean language installed on my computer for, like, you know how you can install alphabets and fonts? I don't have it. So the game just sort of breaks, and it's all going to be like ... question mark, exclamation mark. All the dialogue is going to fly by because of this. And when you have a game where you are absolutely mashing dialogue, that is going to be very effective. See? Question mark. ... Also, an upside is by watching the speedrun, you're not really going to be heavily spoiled on the story. So, that's pretty good right there. ... question mark. And it should go well. As well, I do want to reiterate that if you are interested in running Detention, this game usually ran on PC. I think there's console versions of the game. However, if you're doing either any percent or true ending, the route is virtually the same. There's very minor differences for what actually goes on with this. Also, just another general speedrunning thing. In most cases, when you have text, Asian languages will tend to be faster than Western languages. So if you can get traditional Chinese, that tends to be faster. Sometimes it's Korean. So that is the case. Anyway, we're going to start off by going right. The main reason you want to end up going right is because you're planted around the center of the building. So you're able to immediately go to these stairs. And the first room we're going to be going to is actually going to be on the right side of the first floor. So we go to the right side because of this. A lot of this will be routing decisions and kind of how you manifest them. Now, another thing to consider is it's going to be a point and click, so you want to kind of make sure that your mouse cursor is always going to be where it needs to be. So, like, after being on the light, I put it over there, and then I put it towards the door. This is a very simple tactic that's done in a lot of games, which is just kind of preemptively moving the cursor. As I'm Milne, I hope you're having a great day today. Yeah, all is well. For this, you want to make sure you open it, because this game is kind of weird, where you're not really allowed to use items until you've actually done a few things, I guess. The game is very adamant that you have to open the thing. You have to observe the thing. A good example, while I know I can use the crank there, I'm not allowed to use the crank until I, what's the word? Until I've opened it, because the game doesn't want you just using cranks randomly. Anyway, we're now inside the auditorium. We're going to have... it's going to be trippy, Milne. So the reason why it's broken is because I have the game on in Korean right now. However, I don't have a Korean... language on my computer. So the game just sort of gives you a bunch of punctuations and ... question mark, comma, because it doesn't know what to put up. Now, it doesn't matter if you have the glitch or not. If you really want to see the Korean, you can. It's not going to be faster either way. The text scrolls the same as soon as you have Korean. Anyway, before talking to the girl, you're going to grab this umbrella in here, And then you are going to be going to the fan right here. This is another one of the ideas that you can't use items until you're kind of directly next to them. Like, I know I have to use the umbrella here, but you can't get that until you've actually, you know, observed it. And the game's going to have a lot of these, so I will describe them as they come. Speaking of which, we're going to have another annoying one, because we have to give this girl her necklace, but she's not awake yet, so we have to wake her up, and then we can give her the necklace. So we're just going to spam out dialogue with her right now. You're also going to see how fast we're going to kind of go through it. Just watch. She just kind of breezes through expressions. And then when she starts moving, you can actually just, you know, give her the necklace. See? And now she has her necklace. You can't do it immediately. You normally want her to start walking past you, and then she'll put it on. At that point, that's essentially the key to leave the auditorium, and this is like the prologue area. It's like watching Morse code spammers. I always kind of like that, though, when you have speedruns like this. Like, there's some games where you don't want to be spoiled because the game's all about the story. So for this one, you quite literally won't be seeing any of the story. It's all dialogue. Also, how's it going to too? You'll be doing good. Hope you're all doing good today, chat. I did my vibe check, but I hope you're all doing good. Also, at this point in the run, you will just continue going left. There's not going to be much more going on. Going left is the end of the prologue, and just mashing dialogue out. So the glitch I'm going to describe to you is a bit awkward. It'll come more when we get to the enemy in the game called the Lingered. But what the Lingered do is normally they body block you. We're going to see the Lingered once we get to change our character. We're going to be playing as this one, the girl for most of the game. Her name is Ray. This guy's name is Wei. So we're going to stop playing as Wei in a moment here. But with Ray, there's these enemies called the Lingered that there's a very minor skip that you can do where if you kind of wiggle around them, you're able to... Oh, we got it. Post your sassiest emote. We'll go with that for emote-only mode. You can kind of go through them without having to hold your breath, which it's a minor time save. There is a guide on speedrun.com if you'd like to do that, but currently it's not required. It's also kind of a run killer to do it. It's not easy. It is very difficult, and honestly, it's one of those things that if you don't get it, it's a-okay. And mainly lets you continue running a bit faster. Also, you just gotta love the way it's going, because we have no idea what they're talking about. Oh god, I didn't put a time on the emote. But once we finish the conversation, you may leave the room, and then you can go to the left. Just keep running left, and eventually you'll black out. And that is the first tutorial section. And at that point, you're just going to mash until you are in the auditorium. Oh, poor Roz. Anyway, I'll give it, let's go until it hits 7 for emote only. Once the time hits 7, we'll put back on regular chat. Regular chat. Also, you're going to be noticing how much time I'm saving with the comparison. Because the last time I ran this category, it was in English. However, now I'm in Korean, so you'll be seeing immediately how much time I'm getting. And it's going to be wild. It'll be absolutely wild how much it really saves. It's kind of neat. I don't get to do these very often, and this was actually the motivation for me wanting to do, you know, a Detention speedrun explained. Because you really get to see how much of a difference some of these things make. You know, people always tell you, oh, why don't I do it in this language? You get to see firsthand why running in Korean is faster. I virtually did nothing better. I pretty much just walked through the motions. There was no tech, there's no nothing. It was just, you know, movement. But the thing is, I'm clicking through the dialogue so much faster now. So I'm going to be saving a lot more time. Anyway, you're going to grab the candle, and then you're going to go outside. This will allow you to go out. You're not allowed to move until you grab this candle. It's kind of your escort tool. So, also English only, please. You want to go to this so you can get a key. Not only does this give you a key, it will give you a tip of how to beat the Lingered. This is the monster I was talking about with that skip. The way you're going to pass it, though, is you simply walk up to it, and then once you're close enough, you can hold your breath. Once you pass the model, you can just go around it. This is why it's slightly faster to try doing the glitch, because you can immediately keep running. However, it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult, so keep that in mind. It's also minor time save. If you would like to learn that, it's there, but don't worry about it. It's only a chapter 1 thing. It's not going to bleed through the rest of the game. Also, look, it's Way. He's hanging now. Also, another thing to know about this game is you kind of want to preemptively use items, because as you're playing the game, you can't really, like, use an item and keep it on the cursor. If you drag an item, it'll automatically use it. So what I'll do is you'll see doors, I'll drag the item, and I'll let Ray walk to that door, but only when it's in range. So for most times, I'm just making sure my cursor is where I need to go. Because in order to keep it running, I'm tapping rhythmically. It's not mashing, but it's minor tapping. Very ever so minor tapping. Anyway, at this point, you may have noticed you're going to the 2nd floor, and I'll be going to this round door right here. This is going to have 2 things for us. One, inside the sink is going to be pliers. Also, you have this really cool jump scare. Is it really a jump scare if I tell you it is, though? And also, we're going to go to the back, to the sink, because we need to get 3 dice. Here's 1 die. We're going to be getting 2 more as we go. Now we're going to skip a lingered by going through this door. If you keep going left, you'll run into a lingered, but you can go inside this classroom, and you can actually just go around it without having to worry about it. This is also why I'm saying a lot of it's not going to matter too much. You're mostly ignoring the lingered anyway. And this kind of prevents me having to hold the breath, which is slightly faster. Now, as well, we can use the pliers on this. Make sure not to mash when you use the pliers, because what happens if you mash, you'll accidentally cancel the item, and then you'll go to regular gameplay, which isn't very good for us. Anyway, now you're going to turn the light here. This will activate and show you that you have a key, which then you can just pull the key and take it out. Make sure you grab the food while you're in here. You can either do it before or after, but this food is going to distract the lingered for us. This lingered you actually do need to distract, because normally with the lingered, you need to pass them, and you don't want them to fight you. So I like to pass this paper. Once you pass the paper, you are safe, and then you can use the key. The lingered won't let you use items, so that's why you kind of want to make sure that you stealth past that one. We'll talk to that little sink to get the 2nd die, and we'll also talk to this to get some paint thinner. Luckily for us at this point, we can then go out back this way, and it'll be nice and safe and continue running. I go this way because I don't want to worry about the lingered and hold my breath, so it's just much easier to go this way. Now we're able to go back down to the 1st floor, because now I have the paint thinner. The paint thinner is going to be very convenient for me, because that's going to allow me to cleanse a door that was there earlier. It's kind of funny that this is essentially a walkthrough of the game to an extent. Because, oh, you have to do this, this, this to do this. Anyway, with this lingered, this one's kind of RNG. This is mainly the one where the skip's really good if you can do it. If you're not doing that, though, make sure you don't hold your breath for too long, and you don't want this one to jump forward. You normally want to be able to pass it and run. The moment you pass it, though, you can just begin running. Don't worry about the damage. It will lose you. It kind of gives up chase after a brief distance, so it's never too bad there. Sure you die? No, she's fine, Ko. She's all good. You'll see what happens. Alright, now we're going to be grabbing a knife right here, and we'll be going to this room, and we'll be getting 1 more die in a bowl. In order to get the bowl, however, you need to talk to this bucket and get all 3 dice, and then throw them in here. This is kind of one of those situations where the game wants you to have the answer to a puzzle and absolutely make sure that you won't softlock. So make sure you throw the dice, keep mashing, observe the bowl. You also need... So the answer to a puzzle is going to be 623. However, in order to get this bowl, you need to talk to it, so... It doesn't really matter that I know what the answer is, because the game wants me to, you know, I have to do that. As well, the answer to one of the puzzles won't work unless you have perceived the answer. It's one of those games. It's one of those games, you know? There's a lot of games like that. How's it going, Dr. William Freeman? Hope you're doing good. Anyway, before we go back up to the 3rd floor, we're actually going into the auditorium. We're going to be talking to this guy right here. This is Way. Remember him from earlier? No way are you about to do this. Haha, he's dead. Anyway, we needed blood for this bowl. That's why we do it. But that's why we needed all those things. Realistically, we know the answer to the gate that we're having to go to, but the game assumes we don't know. Also, minor RNG on this one. If it dashes forward, that's usually rough. You want that to happen. If it dashes towards you, that's really good, because then you can just do that. And that's why it's not too bad there. Anyway, once you pass the lingered, you can go up to the 3rd floor. Now, if you get caught by the lingered, just run a bit backward. They'll lose chase easily and try it again. It's not too punishing, actually. This game is really straightforward because it's pretty easy to run. It is, isn't it, Adwork? It is, and I love it. This game is so grim and it's great.
Such clever idea to get blood low.
Also, the game gives you the answer to the puzzle if you, you know, don't really know what the symbols mean. Also, thank you, Adwork, for the 214 months. Do enjoy your emotes and scissors, and thank you. Hope you're doing good today. Thank you again for the 14 months. So at this point, we're going back down to the 1st floor, and now we got the blood, and we have to pass the lingered one more time. You want to make sure the range on the lingered is much larger than you would imagine, so be careful with that. Once you pass it, you are good to go. Just don't get caught inside. Alrighty. So, now that we've done that, we can now leave the level. That's going to be all the way on the right. It's going to be this. The way I see it is you have the 2 symbol on the top. We're going to have the 2 symbol on the top of this one. So, like that. And then just mash the 3rd one. There we go. It's going to look like that. Just kind of pause it there to get the answer. You can also refer to the book. It's going to be 623. The cool part is you only need the first 2, and then you can mash the 3rd one. And then there you go. This has been Chapter 1 for the most part. It's going to be pretty chill, just a straight walk to the end. For the most part, I should say. It's kind of funny, because you think you have to look through the rooms. Nope, you can just straight up go to the end. And then you talk to this door. However, the door is actually locked. Oh no! Oh no! So be careful about mashing. If you try mashing the button, she'll actually walk forward, which gives you a brief amount of time. Wait for the camera to pan and run all the way to the back. Do not worry about the jump scare. It's a good jump scare, mind you, but don't worry about it. Just go to the end. You'll always make it, and talk to the door. At that point, you're almost done with the whole chapter, and you will be good to go. I know it looks close. Trust me, you'll never, unless you miss the door prompt, you won't miss this. Oh, I split. And then you grab the no. What this will do is this will kick us back to a bedroom. You're going to talk to the mirror, the trash can, and the door. This is one of those things that you kind of have to interact with everything in the room before they let you progress to kind of give you a bit of story background. So you talk to all 3, and then she'll get tired, and then she'll say, hey, I want to go to bed. Which then, you go to bed. Very, very simple. And that's Chapter 1. Chapter 1's pretty straightforward. It's pretty good. And usually, again, splits are arbitrary, but I like to split upon entering the next area. So once I kind of see her fade in, that's when I like to split. Remember, on any speedrunning stuff, splits are 100% arbitrary. Splitting does not matter in the slightest. So, one of the things that made me want to revisit Detention as a speedrun is actually what's going to happen right now. I think in my old Speedruns Explained for Detention any percent, what ended up happening was I made the old route the thing. Have a good night, Dunny. Enjoy the lurk and have a good rest of the night. Sleep well. And thank you for the good luck. So in the old days, what I was doing, because I think that was just the route at the time, I was going downstairs to the basement, and I was getting the money so then I can go get the fan. That's not ideal. Because in a game like this, when realistically most of what you're doing is puzzles and movement, you need to be very efficient with everything. What that means is, if I only need to make 1 trip to the basement, that's going to be faster than making 2 trips. And surprisingly enough, if you go to the 2nd floor immediately, all you need up here is incense right now. So by going here, you'll be able to see a grave in the middle. You're going to be taking this incense. And then this incense will actually be used... A top option, by the way. It will actually be used for one of the puzzles. I'm also going to mention which options you're going to pick, because this is the top option. And I mention that because it's going to be hard to see. So in case you want a better chance, play in Korean. It's going to be a little bit easier. So right now, there's an RNG chance to lose about 7 seconds. For this monster, you're going to want to turn around. Once it begins to sniff, you will then hold your breath. Some people have been calling this, yes, the Straw Hat Crew Gene Simmons, because of the long tongue. Once it passes, you may begin to run again. But just keep that in mind. Those are RNG. Anytime you have to deal with one, you lose about 7 seconds. The route I'm going to be taking is going to be faster even with not having it, so that's pretty good. Alright, so now that we've gone to the second floor, we'll now be going down to the basement, because normally, you know, you would have to get the incense to go get the sword, and you wouldn't really think of that unless you were down here ready to see that there's an altar for incense. However, now that I have it, I can just, you know, grab the incense, put it in here, and hey, the sword is now opened. In addition, though, the reason why you normally come down here early is because you want to get the spirit money. If you run all the way back here, there's going to be an item. Also, the thing with splits, Tech and Andrew, with speedrunning in general, splits are solely a thing used for the runner and for viewers to understand what's going on. So realistically, they're entirely arbitrary, and the only splits that matter are the first one and the last one. The whole thing doesn't really matter that much. It's just kind of a way of keeping pace. So, they're entirely a personal thing. So if you miss one, it's not the end of the world, but be careful with how messy you make them. Just because it's more effective to have neat splits than messy splits. Alright, so we get the sword. Once we have the sword, we're going to be using the spirit money in the next room to get the fan, and then we can unlock a puzzle door. So this next room is going to be a little bit tricky, and this is going to be a very minor skip we can do. So, once I head back, the puppets are going to try to kill me. Right now I can run through them no problem, but once I talk to the incinerator, or interact with it, I should say, throw the money in there and grab the fan, walking into the puppets equals death. And you know, death is bad. So I don't want to die to that. So what I'm going to do is once I go to the puppets, you're going to hold your breath. Right about like there. Now, this brown puppet is the signifier. Like this line or so. You're going to see I'm letting go way early even though I'm in puppets because, well, while the puppets are dangerous, they're not all going to kill me. I walked out pretty generously because the death plane isn't where you think it is. It's much less massive. It's small. How is it that small? That's really the question we ask. The puppets, they're not showers, they're growers. Anyway, I digress. We'll now be going to this door. It's the He-By Men door. They have some kind of significance. But it's a really easy puzzle. Just place the item where it's facing. I think it's an actual puzzle, but I just figured left and right because, you know, it makes sense. Exactly, Atomic Ram. And hey, look, I just saved a bunch of seconds again. Aww. Okay, so I tested out the routing here, by the way, and this is going to be funny because it's going to seem kind of weird. But very often when it only comes down to movement, a lot of your time save will be dictated on how efficiently you're going. There are two routes you can take. After this, you can either go left or you can go right. Going right is going to be 5 seconds faster, roughly. It's minor, but it is slightly faster to go this way than I'm taking. I only know this because I took time to time both, and I took an account of errors, and it's slightly faster to take this route. The general idea is there's one big puzzle, which is going to be a couple of puppets that you need to get, or a couple of dolls. It's a puppet show. And you need to get a policeman puppet and a sackman puppet. To get the policeman puppet, you have to go back, do a bit of backtracking to go to the roof. As an A-bomb, we did good. Incorrect, Striker. You know, chat, type sad cat if it makes you sad cat. Those puppets weren't very nice to us, were they? We weren't very nice to the puppets. If you feel bad for the puppets, sad cat. We're going to be going to the roof right now. You might remember the roof from earlier. The roof is going to have a film. Now, the fun part, like I mentioned, is the game does have a lot of puzzles that I already know the answer to that aren't really going to be that good or bad to deal with. But you need to see them or activate them before you can type them in. The game won't let you progress unless the game assumes you know it. So what we want to do is the room coming up is going to have a projector. We're going to play the tape and we're going to immediately ignore it. We don't need to actually watch the tape. All that we need to do is play the tape. So start walking in, play the tape as per usual. And now that the tape is showing, you can get the answer to the phone call from that room. But I already know it and the game assumes I probably looked at it and wouldn't just run past it. So now we may head back down to the first floor and back to that room with the phone. Oh, there's so many sad cats. Oh. Oh. As always, I just want to mention, during any of these, I know we had the question about the split so far. If anyone has any questions about this run or anything in speedrunning, go for it. You're more than welcome to ask. It's usually a pretty interesting topic to go into a lot of things that runners might do for one reason or another. There's no real definitive way to set things. Hell, earlier today I thought, hey, wait a minute, why are we doing that? Wouldn't this be faster? And I timed both routes, and my route was slightly faster, which I was surprised about, because very often if you go against the grain, sometimes you might find something. Speedrunning often is about a fresh set of eyes. One moment. First things first, grab the receiver, and you'll be typing in a rotary phone 0, 2, 5, 1, 2, 1. That is how you type in the phone number. Rotary phones suck. Make sure you grab every number and pull it here. Make sure you grab the receiver first too. That's how you do it. So many people get confused with rotary phones. So it's, again, it's 0, 2, 5, 1, 2, 1. That is the answer. And I played this game casually, I think maybe in like 2017, and fell in love with this game. I picked it up while I was on, when it was on sale, and I was like, wow, this game is beautiful, and I just loved it. That's what I was going to tell him. Oh, you already said hi. Oh yeah, the phone's a pain, but going around in like circles is a little bit more efficient in my my expertise of this. But you know, if you can always try other methods of whatever works for you. Anyway, after you do that, make sure that you grab the doll on the ground. How's it going? Luke Cage, hope you're doing good. I might lose some time in the run, by the way, with the Sackman doll, but that's okay if I do. It's not the end of the world. There's an RNG chance you might see this monster here. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. Like I mentioned, it's 100% RNG. Anytime you have to deal with these, it is about 7 seconds of downtime. So, maybe more. Keep that in mind. Alright, so at this part, you're going to ignore these doors for now. The reason why is because I don't actually have the puzzle for what I need here yet. One of these rooms is going to have a piano, and one will have a tape that gives me a piano puzzle. Also, if my time starts being lost, it's okay. I'll make up for it later. But where we're going to go is right down the middle here. We're going to be going to this arch. A lot of doors are actually more inward than you think. The puppet puzzle will end up here, but I don't have all the puppets yet. So for right now, what we're going to do is we are simply going to be going to the street. On the bottom here, there's a tape. And that tape is going to be having my puzzle. Also, big yawn. There it is. You know what I've been doing lately? I've been telling myself big stretch whenever I do a big stretch. If you never tried it, chat, you should try it. It's very, very relaxing. Alrighty, actually, let's skip that split. So the light is turned off, so you can't go to these doors. The way you're going to deal with this puzzle is you are going to be turning on this light, click it once, and then keep going left and right. Eventually what will happen is you'll get the jump scare, this monster will come out, go to the left. The reason why I like doing this in this order is because that monster will always come out there. Going to the right wouldn't make sense, because you have to go in this room anyway. Get your tape, play it, and go to channel 4. Now, if you have trouble with audio cues, what you want to do... Also, let's do this. There. What you want to do is you're going to want to... Hold on. Play a certain beat on the piano. Piano. Just watch visually. This is the order. Or audially. There's not exactly a speed at which you need to play it. I think you go as fast as you want, but if you fat finger something, be very, very careful. This will be the top option, once again, to take the sack man, and then we'll be going to the next puppet show. Now, the reason why I like this one is because the other route that's used currently in some of the runs, it leads you at where the cop puppet is. They do this one first, not the cop one first. But the cop puppet's further away from the puppet show than this one is. So it makes more sense to go for this one because it's just right here. And overall, it does end up being roughly about the same speed. Let's say I lost time slightly somewhere, but that is a-okay. So 1, too. And pop. Cop on the right, Sackman on the left, and then we may leave. We got the key we need. Now the fun part about all this is once we head back, it's going to be downstairs almost instantly. Because the school goes in a loop. If you go to this door right here, what will happen is you can simply go downstairs. And hey, look, we're back here. And the ending of the level is actually right at the door that was by the money. And now we have the key for that door. So if you just know where you're going, hey, you're good to go. And at this point, it's mostly going to be dialogue matching for the rest of the level. So it's pretty chill. I like Detention. I like games like this. Not every game is going to have absolutely amped up tech. Sometimes you just have a game that's kind of like a... It's like chips. It's like a tasty snack. It's not like the main course, but it's fun. It's a good time. You could enjoy a game like this, I suppose, you know? It's not going to have all the dank tech. I'm playing one-handed. It is a red candle game. Never stretch in your life. Perfect. And red candle games is a lot of good stuff. Like, I'll be doing another game later today, which is Devotion. And that is, dare I say, cinema. Anyway, like I mentioned, the Korean tech speed is going to absolutely help me. However, in order to progress forward, you are going to need that paper. Hey, look, it's an American book list. Gun. An American book list. The door will unlock with that, and now we may keep moving to the right. This is going to be a good split to see, by the way, because with Ask About Love, it's pretty much entirely dialogue mashing. If you've been wondering more so, how much time does Korean really save? You're about to find out. Symbolism. Well, I mean, I get it. Oh, how's it going, Robin? Good to see you. Hope you're doing good today. We're currently doing a Speedruns Explained. So, they're always fun to do. Correct, 8-Bit Dojo. Very correct. You know what? If you're watching this video on YouTube right now, I don't know. Tell me your favorite holiday. That will be the question this time. What's your favorite holiday? You know what mine is? Thanksgiving. Food for days. I like to party and I like to eat. It's good stuff. I like to drink during Thanksgiving too. A lot of fun holidays out there. So, what's yours? Be anything you like. Alright, anyway, we'll keep moving right at this point. Who is cinema? Oh, it's how people describe good movies. As cinema. Cinema. Anyway, as soon as you can, you want to talk to this big guy. This is a judge. Talking to him is going to let you just kind of get through dialogue faster. Now, on the left will be your dialogue options. You're going to be hitting these and praying. You are essentially going to be pressing this spot the whole time. Right on Twitch chat. I mean, you might not have Twitch chat here, but I do. But you'll be pushing right about here the whole time, because the dialogue options will be right about here. They'll always go up by 1, so you don't have to worry about going 1, 2, 3. They will always be here. So there you go. Now I know what you're thinking. Hey, wait a minute. If this is the true ending, what do you have to do differently? All of the true ending decisions are actually made in Chapter 4. So if you know how to run any percent, you know how to run true ending. It is super simple. They are, Lunar Knight. They are. You're doing very good, Twitch chat. You're doing a very good job. And I'm proud of you. Actually, I guess I split there. Huh, I guess I didn't save as much time as I thought. Wait, am I not going to get the PB I wanted? Wait a minute, I talked a lot of mad trash. There you go. Well, I said to get 5 subs, that doesn't roll the record, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, that level is now done, and we get to go to one of my favorite chapters in the game. I did. And the idea behind this one is we are going to be talking to the radio. Because what's going on with that radio? You're going to be memorizing 3 numbers. 89, 94, hold on. Whenever it turns red, you've changed the level, and 103. The first one we're going to is going to be 89. When it's red, you've done the level change. First things first, you want to kind of just go into this back room. This is going to allow you to do a puzzle that ultimately unlocks the 103 time. And we're kind of exploring this character's past. Before you do anything, turn off the light. This will kind of make it red. And then talk to the picture of yourself. That will allow you to bleed from your eyes or cry the goo. From that, you can grab this cup, and that's going to be a puzzle answer for later. Now we'll be going over to the 94 time. Don't worry if you're not able to run here. It's supposed to be cinema. It's supposed to be, you know, like story beats. You take a while to guess what the theme is there. It's probably uncomfortable. It's meant to be. And now we're going over to 94. What this allows us to do is we're going to be able to solve this puzzle now, because you need the water that's colored inside there for the footprints, and we're going to turn off the light because, you know, it's like UV, whatever it is. I don't know the actual thing. It glows in the dark. Now, the fun part, once again, is the answer for this is always going to be the same, so just follow the feet. However, you can't actually do this without this. Even if you know the answer, the doors won't actually count unless you did this. So it's one of those games. So luckily for you, if you know if you don't remember it, you don't have to remember it. It will always be the same. This is going to be the puzzle that trips the most people up, I think. The reason why is because either two clocks, a left clock and a right clock, and they symbolize your family or something. And what you need to do is you need to pick two particular times. I'll just tell you the time straight up to look at the clocks. This one is going to be 6:45. And this one is going to be directly 1 p.m. Or 1. If you're loosely around that area, you'll be good to go, and you'll be saving some time. At that point, you've solved the puzzle, and you may just simply leave. And you get an affair! I can't believe it! There's also a lot of notes on the ground. Those give you the story beats, but ultimately you don't have to actually look at most of the notes. There's some notes you must look at, but you don't need to look at that one. I'll point out which ones are the story ones and which ones aren't. Anyway, now you'll be going back to 89. And I'll let you go through that one door that you was locked earlier. Because that's ultimately what the puzzle was meant to do. See? Now everything is all good, and you may go in here, which it's a very lovely game. I love the aesthetics. It looks cool. Now, something to make sure that you do is you do want to make sure that you're picking up a lot of the items in the game. A lot of these characters are going to drop items. I think this guy has a paper airplane. You're going to need that for later, so make sure you grab it, but just master the dialogue for right now. Oh, it's so creepy. It's good. Like, if you've never played this game casually, luckily the speedrun won't ruin it, so it's good. It also has a good RF2N. No, not that. No. Oh, yeah. And you're not going to innately know what you're doing. Like, you're not going to remember every puzzle and understand what's going on unless you memorize every single route of the speedrun or watch this video intently. So, if you're trying to do this game casually, the speedrun won't actually ruin for you, believe it or not. Unless you have, like, superb memory where you remember everything the moment you see it, and at that point, you should probably, I don't know. It's probably a job you can get somewhere. Anyway, this note will give you 103 radio. And then we're allowed to go to 103 radio. Which, hey, 103. Yep. There we go. New radio station. New location. That's how they get you. Anyway, the answer to this will be 1. And the general idea is you want the man in the hat to be running forward. So if you're trying to do this, man in the hat runs forward. 3, 4, and then 6. That's the order. It's kind of just a moving forward sort of thing. And then the door will light up if you got it right. So good job if you did that. And then at this point, it's going to be a slow walk to get some dollaruskis. Where is the money, you might ask? Well, there's the money. It's in the pocket. And now we're going to head back for a very fun puzzle, because, you know, you're able to backtrack through the times. Well, Malice, that's good then. So we're going to go back to 89. Okay. We're going to be talking to Mr. Pig. and giving him money. Thank you, Mr. Pig. What that turns into is the next puzzle item, which is going to be a dead Mr. Pig. So long, Mr. Pig. We knew ye well. You only live in memories for now. Say F for Mr. Pig. And now you go back to 103. It is a cute... I love pigs, by the way, so trust me, it hurts me more than anyone, Chad. It hurts me more than anyone. But now we're here, and we can go watch the movie. Exactly. Where's the money, Hextralian? At this point, it's going to be very simple. You just go to the end. Once you see the movie counter, just place the ticket, and you can go through the door. It's cool, my Noko. It's very cool. And then you're just going to sort of be waiting for a little bit while dialogue happens. You know, I really am wondering if my PB was faster or not. I was in English, and I'm not saving as much time as I thought. Like, some parts are saving a load of time. Others are not saving very much at all. I hope I don't count my chickens before they hatch sort of deal. Either that or my mid-game was a lot better than I thought it would be. We'll see. We'll see. Alrighty, anyway, happy memories are not to last in this game, and that's kind of a general theme of it. But we get a pretty necklace, so that's okay. Hey, look, does that look familiar? Maybe it does. Maxie as well with a raid. How was Resident Evil 7 Madhouse? Hope you had a good time. We have a mod shout out from Maxie. Welcome, Raiders. I'm currently doing a Speedruns Explained for Detention. I love this game, it's a great time. If you've never seen one of these, or if you've never seen this game, I'm pretty much explaining as much as I can, so welcome on in. And McDice's hit a lot of horror games and horror game accessories. Back to the run really quick. We're simply going back to the radio, and then we'll be going... Oh, well, picking this up note. Well, I'll pick up the note right here, because we do need this. And then we'll be going to radio station 94 once again. There we go. I was going CP159. At this point, if you kept walking down, you may have recognized that there was another door, so we're going to ignore this one, and at the end, there's actually another door. It's one of those things that they really want you to look around, and then you kind of find it, so... How's it going, the Maggot Brain? Welcome on in, everyone. If you have any questions about the run, or anything, feel free to let me know. And hope you had a good stream, Maxie. How's it going, Nancy Drew? It's a simple go left. When you see the guide, though, you want to get out the book. Because that's going to kind of give you the dialogue option. So simply just give him the book, and then that will allow you to proceed forward. We can consider a surfer. As well, once you finish the dialogue, grab his item, and then you'll be ready to go. I'm all out of water. Yeah. I hope you had a good time, Mr. Maxie. Madhouse is a fun time. But yeah, recently Detention had some new routing with direction that you're going and in language choice. So just kind of reiterate for anyone who may have missed it. The reason why it's all dots and commas is because I turned it on Korean and I don't have a Korean language on my computer. So the game's just kind of giving me empty spaces because I don't have the ability to output Korean. But it's going to be faster than having any other language. If you want to install Korean, you can. It shouldn't make a difference. Anyway, at this point, we have everything we need. You're just going to go back to the beginning of the level, and then you'll be hit with a curtain. You'll go through the curtain, and then there's going to be 3 items. Luckily for us, it's very, very simple to go into the puzzle. Get your paper ready, start walking to the left side of the room, and then give the paper to this. After this, you're going to go all the way to the left. Hey, I hope you enjoy it. It sounds like a fun time. But sorry to hear about Madhouse being rough. It seems neat, though. I imagine they're probably a fun meme. And it does. It does. Also, this one would be the Jade Pendant. This is going to cut out the dialogue pretty nicely for me. And just having them on the ready is going to be great. And then the last one will be the paper. You only have 1 item left. 1 more will spawn on the bed. So you move slightly to the right, and that'll be good for us. I move slightly to the right because the door that's going to spawn will be on the right. I move slightly to the right because the door will be on the right. So that's going to be good. And Dying Light 2 does look interesting. There it is. And if you do that perfectly, there we go. And let's see how far ahead we should be. I imagine we'll probably be a little bit ahead. We'll see. Although I don't know when I split these is the only issue. So for true ending route, the main thing to really consider about the run is what choices do I make? There are a bunch of choices and everything for the true ending is endgame. So it doesn't really matter all that much based on how you play. You can play the early game all the same. Levels 1, 2, 3, all the same. However, once you get to Chapter 4, that's when it gets particular. And you're going to want to be very careful of the way you move. The game sort of requires you to get a lot of the game's details in order to get the best ending. And that's kind of like embracing the truth of the matter, I suppose. I feel like I shouldn't be losing time. If I get a fat gold, then I'll learn that maybe I'm not really losing time. My splits have been kind of inaccurate lately. As I don't remember how I split when I ran this years ago. So let's see. I don't actually think I'm losing this much time, but I could be wrong. Well, we'll find out in a moment. Alrighty. So, what's going to happen now is we're going to be talking to a bunch of shadows. These shadows are going to be reflections of ourselves, and we must pick the correct options. Each shadow will offer you 3 choices. Now, in order to get the true ending, it is very, very, very precise. It's super annoying, in fact, because you need to do everything perfect. Oh yeah, this is essentially like the true ending splits I have right now are my old splits. So most likely, we'll learn what we have at the end. The end of the run will be consistent. I know that much. So whatever we'll have at the very end of it. First things first, we'll be going in here. And we'll be talking to the shadow. The shadows are going to prevent you with a bunch of choices. If you want to avoid accidentally missing a choice, just start clicking on the top until they come up. You'll be picking the 3rd option. So make sure you pick number 3. You should hear a nice sounding music if you did it right. Alrighty, so that's the first one. You're simply going to leave and then go to the left. Thank you for the follow. Also, Hudson, thank you for the tier 1 and the 9 months of the Twitch baby. All good. It's no worries. These are kind of I do talk to chat during these, so it's all good. Enjoy the emotes and the scissors. Thank you. Anyway, the whole idea for this one is you go to the 2nd floor and you're going to go to the 1st room and talk to this. The gimmick is that you have to get the shadow on the other side of the room, so you're going to go all the way around. You're just going to talk to it, get back to the regular world. This door is locked, so you can't go through there. You have to go all the way around, so it's kind of fun for that. But yeah, enjoy the Twitch baby, Hudson. I hope that you're doing good. Hopefully Dead Rising is treating you well. How's it going? It's Randy. Yeah, number 3, yeah. And this is kind of one of the more fun puzzles of the game, because if you keep trying to go back and forth, it's like, oh, how do I get her there? And it's like, oh, I can go up and down stairs. I have vertical movement. So, you kind of lure the shadow on one end, and then you go to the other end, and then it's very good. And it's pretty simple. And once again, I want to mention, this game is super simple. Like, it's very easy to learn. Hell, if you learn this game, you could probably beat my time, I imagine. To anyone in chat. But we will see. And it's going good, Nordson. We're doing good. Anyway, at this point, we're now going to be going to our 2nd option. We will talk to her. And you will be going to number 1. Anytime you do it right, you'll hear the little... like that. You hear that, you know you've done well. Okay, so now the difference between any percent and the main category. We'll find out. Gonna do all missions again. Oh, best luck with that one. That's a tough category. I know the feeling. I need to do that again soon, so I know the feeling all too well. Good luck with it, though, Hudson. Good luck. But the thing of true ending is you need to make sure you grab all of the way lore. So there's gonna be a little note in the back here. You need to grab all the notes, or the game doesn't think you beat it. Like, they assume that you didn't do it properly. So, we're going to make sure to grab this little note back here. You don't want to do this on any percent. You want to do this on true ending, though. Now, another thing I should mention is if you're doing any percent, pick all the wrong answers. So, pretty much don't pick the answers I'm picking if you're doing any percent. If you're doing true ending, you need these answers. If you're doing any percent, you don't need them. Pick the wrong answers. You don't need the notes either. You can ignore every note pickup on any percent. On true ending, though, you must pick all of them up. And it's supposed to give you the lore. It's doing good, Scam Train. I'll be doing good today. Also, like I mentioned, you're going to see a lot of time save happening about right now. I don't know why, but probably a lot of dialogue meshing, I'm guessing, or inaccurate splitting. But really, the last split's going to be the most important one, like I mentioned. And hey, this is a good example that splits are entirely arbitrary. That's one of my favorite parts of speedrunning. Splits are 110% arbitrary. They don't matter. If you really hit a community that's like, you know, uber competitive, they're going to be manually retiming it anyway. They'll probably take it in like Adobe Premiere or something, go from first frame to last frame. So, it's okay to have rough splits. And once again, make sure you pick up the paper of a true ending, and then you will be leaving. Now, a fun part of this section is you're just going to follow the old man. So, if you ever get lost, follow this old guy. It's kind of like real life. You know, you're walking around, you get lost. Find a stray old man. Follow him. See how that goes for you. Don't actually do that. You might get in trouble. You might scare him off, but you never know. As with my master roller incoming, we'll see. Anyway, for this one, we're simply going to be going to the store with a broom on it. They're kind of bullying this character, is the story, I should say. They're not calling her based. They're calling her cringe. Kind of like how my mom calls me cringe. It just sort of happens sometimes. I get it. Okay, so on any percent and true ending, there'll be two different tactics. On any percent, you're going to go up to a certain chair and then head back to the door. If you're on true ending, you're going to wait at the chair. So it's this line right here where my mouse is. You're going to pass it and then head back on any percent. On true ending, you will simply wait right here. This causes the flashback to happen, and then you can grab it right there. Let's see. Alright, we're almost there. Exactly. And then we may head back. You'll go in this room, and then head right back out. The reason you do that is because you want the world to kind of refresh to the little, like, the gritty world, I guess. You want it to go back to the regular world. So, once you do that, you can just go all the way to the left, and that'll be the room. However, we're hit with another puzzle. There's a lot of puzzles in the endgame, and I really like this section. Anyway, turn on the light, that'll pause the shadow, then you talk to the shadow. That'll send you to the non-shadow realm, or the shadow realm. Turn on the light here, talk to the light, and then, you know, turn this light back off and go to the light. This allows the shadow to stop, and then you're able to talk to it in the proper area, which is the end of the section for this one. Now, for this choice, you'll be picking the first option. So be careful with how you mash, and make sure you pick option number 1. If you did it right, you'll hear the boom. There you go. You did it. And luckily for this one, it's literally right here. You won't see it. It's towards the screen. And this one's mean. This one is super mean. Because you just won't think about it. It's like, oh, where is it? Oh no. That is right there. And it is a rough one. Anyway, this one's actually pretty quick. And at this point, hopefully you've done everything right. If you have, you'll probably be nearing the end of the game. This will be the last major dialogue choice. You'll be talking to yourself right here, and you'll be picking option 2. And once again, if you did it right, you'll be hearing the sound. There it is. And now we're back in action. At this point, if you've done it right, you should be able to get the ending. You're going to continue following this man, and then at some point once you're on the roof, you should be able to find a paper plane. If you don't find a paper plane, you have done it wrong, and that's really bad. So make sure you have that paper plane. Make absolutely sure you got that paper plane. You'll know after you talk to the old man on the top of the roof. I'll take a big drag of the cigarette. The world will fade away. And then at this point, you should have everything you need. There's no note or anything up here. That's the last thing you gotta do. So let's see. If I did right, a paper airplane should show up right about here. On the ground. There it is. Make sure you grab it. And now, you just sort of keep going to the very end of the game, and you'll be hit with a massive lore dump. Massive lore dump. So get ready to mash the button for a while. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this one. The end of the game's gonna be right, and as long as the run goes right, I probably have world record in this. So if you want to be in the VOD, I don't know. You know what? I'll tell you to type something later. Because there's a funny reference in this game, and I don't know why it's in this game. But of all the things, it will make you laugh, and I guarantee it'll make you laugh. I hope you're enjoying it so far. So yeah, True Ending's not too different. At this point, it's mostly... There still is movement, so we don't end the timer yet. But at this point, if you made it this far, you've done the true ending. You'll be getting it. You'll be able to kind of notice the story. So yeah, how's it going? Is that Squareminator? Welcome on in. Also, for the story beats and the music, great song, post Sad Cat. I love Sad Cat. It's my favorite emote. He's such a sad cat. Aww. Aww. Also, once again, I really can't reiterate enough, this game is a beautiful game if you have never played it. It is a very, gut-wrenching game. So, it is worth a playthrough if you're looking for something. And luckily, watching the speedrun doesn't spoil it for you. Also, I'm glad I was able to do this one. I thought I did one for True Ending, but apparently I never did. So, it's smart that I got this. Like, I was kind of planning on going to another game during, like, right before doing this. But I got strong-armed by Twitch chat. Why is the cat sad? Why, I mean... Is it wrong to be sad, Diet Avenger? Is it wrong to be sad sometimes? I've been known to be a sad cat every now and again. I just how to get you.
白水先染上一河鲜血，只能如铁锈般凋零。
As emotions, exactly. Anyway, at some point, the big plot twist of the game. You, this whole time, have been an old man. You're the old man. That's the plot twist. I mean, kind of. The true ending is that you're actually old. I'm sorry, chat. I, too, am old. I was told when I turn 30, I'll wither away into dust, so... You and me both, man. You and me both. Anyway, the thing I want you to type if you're watching this far into the video, because it'll be funny. Wait, for real? This is the old man. So, you know the old man we're following? Now we get to play him. Spoiler? I mean, it's not really much of a spoiler. There's no context on who this guy is. So, trust me, there won't be too much going into that. But you just get to play as the old man now. You don't know why you're playing as the old man, but there's story reasons. If you want to look into them, spoilers. Anyway, the way I remember how to go is actually the stupidest reason. Because, obviously, the last question is, do you go right or left? You go right. Why do you go right? There's an artist meme that happened a while back, where every single form of art in every single everything had a certain character drawn on it. And you can see right now there's a lot of graffiti. Here's an anarchy symbol, a little skull. A lot of references get added onto these games. A little smiley face. But my favorite one that I actually use for speedrunning is, by going right, you're going to find a very, very notable character. And if you know him, you can type his name. By going right... oh, sorry, one more. I thought that was the last one. I forget, you have to go really high up. Also, he's not fast. Amogus before Amogus. But kind of like Amogus. You're kind of on the right track. But this game came out before Amogus did, so not that, but close. That's like definitely in the same vein of it. Not Sans. No, not Duo. I think, what's the 2013 Amogus? I think that. Because it's right here on the right, somewhere here. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? There he is! It's our old pal, Dickbutt. There he is! You can see Dickbutt. Anyway, keep going up. Just keep going until you hit the ending. They put him in the game. I don't know why he's there. So, if you watch this on YouTube, I guess comment Dickbutt. I hope that doesn't get auto-modded or anything, but, there he is. Anyway, the end of the game's all the way at the very top. You have to go right because it's closed with the stairs here. You can see it's locked off. You go into the empty room, and then you will simply sit down at this desk. Time happens once you take your seat, and... time. Yay, I got a 58! Yay! I'm not demonetized, no! That's why I've allowed one. I've looked at the YouTube rules. I thought that was an OG had. I hope you all enjoy that, everyone. I think that's world record by, like, a minute, maybe? Yeah. If you want to beat my time, you can probably do it. It's not a hard game to run. It's very easy. Just running in Korean. You'll probably save a lot of time, and it's mostly routing, so... there's other little things you can do. I wasted a second or two looking at Dickbutt, but you know what? That's okay. If you enjoyed this and are watching this on YouTube, I don't know, feel free to, like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the algorithm. So... as well, I hope that you enjoy Detention, everyone, including Twitch chat. I like doing these, and they're very fun, so... yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Yay! We did it! And that's where I cut the VOD. So that's Detention. Detention's a fun time.